For Kenneth, the choreography was the language, and that's what told the story.
It's about true love, but at the same time, what is more important, true love or money and good life?
The steps are all there. Macmillan had such a beautiful understanding for the score.
We see this very difficult situation for both of them, quite harrowing physically and mentally.
It's about questioning how much and how far you would go for the one you love.
Kenneth was fascinated by the plight of women in that period, where there was no fallback, and that if a girl wasn't born into a rich and prosperous family, there wasn't much else for her to do. But if she was a beautiful young woman, very quickly she was taken up by men who perhaps could become protectors.
I think the ballet is about Manon and Lescout's fear of being poor. It's not just a fear of poverty, but it's actually the fear of the shame that came with being poor.
Manon, for me, it's like really difficult character to play. She's like absolutely young, beautiful, and she's coming in Paris and she watch around her. She wants everything.
For the first time, she's discovering her powers, and Lescaut is discovering what the sister can do.
Lescaut is the brother of Manon, really pivotal in driving the story. He sort of plants, I think, the seed how he and Manon can make a better life for themselves.
He's a hustler, and it just helps that he's super charming and he's got kind of his hands in every pie.
Lescaut's mistress, she's just really lively and free-spirited, but also she knows her place. They didn't want to be at the lowest level of society, so they had that ambition in them to be part of a well-respected group of people.
Desgrieux, he's a young man, and he's kind of in his own world, you know, studying and kind of in his own head until he meets Manon. From that moment on, everything kind of changes in his life.
Desgrieux is the only one that's really treating the women with any respect. He talks to Manon in such a different way. And I think it truly is a love story for them.
Ultimately, Desgrieux is driven by what's in his heart, and it's the flame and the passion that's ignited when he's met Manon. She's the one that realizes that the money is running out for the pair of them, and perhaps it's not going to end how they might have once imagined it.
So maybe Madame is here.
I'm really working across the whole company to make sure that the essence of Macmillan in all the roles is really kept. So it's actually giving the dancers options and the freedom that we're never recreating work, but we are continuing to create on the interpreters of today.
Do you think you could be on this side at the end, so she looks at you? So it's like it could be you or you.
I think that with the Macmillan ballets, it's encouraged, you know, to think about the characters' motives and why they would do things.
We find space to really put ourselves into these real characters that we're portraying.
Really good. I love the personality. For me, for you, it was absolutely perfect. I loved it.
Choreographically, Kenneth started with the pas de deux, because he always said that's where I know the peak of that scene is, and I can then build up to that or come away from it. Like a precious stone, you know, it's set.
He was a master of his craft. His writing in this way, his choreography, the way he puts it to the music, it's so good that as dancers we can just trust it.
I think what sets Macmillan's productions aside is how real they are and how, as an artist, we can really relate to them.
It's like so important to trust your partner, because if like you not trust, like audience say, I'm not believe, you know? If dancer trust, you see like such a beautiful like movement between dancers.
Kenneth Macmillan is giving us a chance to explore so much deeper, and he's made dance actors of us, and that's a gift for any dancer.
That's it. That's it.
Kenneth had said to Nicholas Georgiades, his designer and great friend, I see it all surrounded by beggars. He designed it with a constant throughout, which are the rags. Underneath all these rich materials and this rich life, there is this poor, decrepit form of life, which, if you're not careful, you can fall into.
The thing that's really special about the designs is that when you're looking at it, even though it's a big space, somehow the design manages to close things down and really make a space really intimate, allowing us to feel like we're in a realistic space rather than on show.
Kenneth was always fascinated by stories, by grand stories.
That's the thing with Manon or any Macmillan work, is just guiding it to the absolute truth of emotion.
It's fantastic ballet, it's like fantastic choreography, it's fantastic story, it's fantastic music, fantastic design. It's a masterpiece.
The combination of the score by Massenet, Macmillan's masterful choreography, it's the ultimate privilege to dance this production.